Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thanks so much for watching today. I got some new stuff in the mail and I can't wait to play. I'm so excited. All right, one thing I will tell you, I'm only going to show you me applying the stuff that's new. I will list everything I'm wearing in the description box down below. And just keep in mind, those are affiliate links. You can use them or not use them. If you do, it does help to support my channel, but you don't gotta do that. All right, so first thing I'm gonna start with is this. This is the multi-stick blush from Persona. Now, this formula's been out for a while, but I've never tried it before. And I decided to pick up one of the new shades. This is the shade Georgia. Look how pretty that is. Oh, I like I like the way that it blends out. That's so nice. I picked up a couple of eyeliners from Persona. They're my favorite eyeliners of the moment. And this blush, and they also dropped in this. This is something I didn't purchase, but I think was like a free with purchase. It's their double-ended face brush. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scribble some of this on the back of my hand. Okay, that's plenty. Maybe that's too much. And I'm gonna use this brush and I'm just gonna pick it up, make sure it's distributed through the bristles of the brush. And then I'm just gonna start to pounce it on. I don't wanna like rub it. This is kind of like a dense brush here, but I do wanna get the color on there. Ooh, it's such a pretty color. I said in several videos ago that I was like, no more blush. I'm eating my words. I have to be careful. I wasn't paying attention as I was getting my face done first because I definitely put on powder everywhere. So I'm having to be really careful. I think this would probably look even better if it was going on an unset face. So excuse me if it's not picture perfect today, but I love this color. This color brings so much life to the face. Oh, it's kind of like a peachy pink. It's not too pink, it's not too peach. It's very, very pretty. Another thing that recently came in the mail is this. This is one of the new 9-pan palettes from Sydney Grace. This is the light version of Southern Spring. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I thought actually it had more peach in it, but that's okay because I still feel like this blush is gonna work. But I am excited to, Sydney Grace makes my absolutely favorite formula. I'm gonna start with the lightest matte shade in here. And I'm just gonna put this in the crease of the eye. This is the one called Walled Garden. I actually thought it was gonna be a little bit lighter, but it's showing up pretty nice. I'm gonna go into this dark brown shade here. This one's called Chasing Fireflies. I'm gonna put just a little bit of this right out here on the outside corner, just to build a little bit of depth. I always love that Sydney Grace does a light and a deep version of their eyeshadow palettes because some of these really light shades aren't going to work for everyone, and I love that they keep that in mind. And you can get two versions where the majority of this palette, I'd say almost 80% of it is going to be the same. Maybe 75% of it's going to be the same, and they're going to just swap out some of those shades that are too fair for people with richer skin tones or that are too deep for people with fair skin tones. And that to me is like perfection. It's so inclusive and you're still getting the same beautiful color story. I'm going to go into this matte shade here called Southern Hospitality, pick some of that up on a brush, knock off the excess, and just kind of take it over the lid a little bit. I like kind of like this sagey green shade. It's very pretty. I'm going to take a large brush that has very little of anything on it, knocked off as much as I could, and I'm taking this just to blend these mattes together. I want it to look as seamless as possible. There we go. I'm going to go back to Chasing Fireflies here and pick this up and just give myself a little bit of this on the bottom lash line. I'm going to take this metallic green here called the Masters, and I'm going to put that in the center of my lid. Oh, such a pretty color. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go into this shade here called Cherry Blossoms and pick it up with a little teeny tiny detail brush. And I'm going to just place this right here in the inner part of my eyelid. What prompted my Persona purchase was actually these guys. These are their 24-hour waterproof eyeliners. Oh my goodness, these gel liners are so good. So good, so good. They are literally the ones I'm reaching for all the time right now. I know I've talked about some other ones that I really like, but what I'm looking for is something that I can put in my upper waterline that stays. And when I blink, it doesn't transfer to the lower waterline. Sometimes that happens like initially, but once it fully sets, then I can take a Q-tip and clean out the bottom lash line, and it's perfect for the rest of the day. That's what I'm looking for. That's what these guys deliver. So I have the shade brown, bronze, as well as graphite, and these are two new shades in plum and stone. So I was like, yes. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. That's plum. It's kind of like a brown with a kind of eggplanty lean to it. Ooh, hello, stone. I think we're gonna have to do a mixture of these guys because these are just too pretty not to use. So I'm gonna take the plum along the upper lash line. These glide so beautifully. And then when they set, they set. I love that so much about these guys. You do have a little bit of playtime because I'm trying to drag out like a little wing here. I'm struggling to do it. Okay, I like where this ended. The plum is what I'm using above the lash line. Let's throw stone in the waterline. So when I'm putting this in my upper tight line, I just kind of rub it in there. And I know that I'm probably going to get some transfer when I blink because I can't seem to keep my eyeball open. But after it dries, it doesn't really go anywhere. I'm going to throw some mascara and a lip on, and I'll be right back. This is how big the Persona pencils are when you first get them. And here are the rest of mine. They're itsy bitsy teensy tiny. Let me show these to you. This is plum, stone, bronze, graphite, and brown. And for the longest time, I had these three. This is the first one that I got. Their brown liner, I know looks black, but it is the deepest, darkest espresso brown that I have in my collection. I love it. But I also like this graphite shade here a lot, as well as this one in stone, because this is gray with a little bit of brown. And this is kind of like brown with a little bit of gold to it. And even this plum shade is not straight up like a purpley color. It's kind of like a little bit of eggplant with a little bit of brown in it. I really love how these aren't the same shades I can find everywhere else. The other thing that I love about these guys haven't completely set yet, but do you see these? These are the ones I drew on my hand at the beginning, and I cannot wipe these off. Like, there's nothing on my finger. They are so good. So when you get them and you put them on the eye and then they set, they're great all day long. And for someone who has watery eyes, this is a sort of liner that I want. The other thing that I like about these is that they're really creamy and they glide. The older I get, the harder time I have because I'm trying to do a wing, my skin pulls and it kind of like skips and jumps in certain areas because my skin kind of folds over itself. I can use this in either direction. It's very creamy, but then once it sets, it sets. So I have to kind of like, okay, one eye at a time, snippity snap snap. But when I get it just right, oh my goodness, I love these. I can't think of any other eyeliner that I have. I'm looking at my eyeliner collection that I have 5 of. That's how much I like this liner. So I finished my eye look up and I forgot to put on a lipstick. So I pulled this one. This one is from What's Up Beauty, and this is the Eye of Raw shade. They have 3 matte lipsticks, and I really like this formula. It's really comfortable, but for what, $23? You get metal packaging, magnetic closure. Like, I love everything about it. It has the What's Up logo here on the top, but for me, it's that magnetic closure and this beautiful cobalt. So stunning, but it wears well. It's a pretty color, and I think it looks really good with this blush. I wanted to do some swatches of the palette. These are just a quick, swirl, like twice in the pan, and then just wiping it on my hand. They're not like, if you want like perfect swatches, Sydney Grace will have them on their website. This one right here is called Cherry Blossom, Walled Garden, Chasing Fireflies. This is All Y'all, Sweet Tea, Sweet Magnolia, Southern Hospitality, The Masters, and this last one here is called Kentucky Derby. It is such a pretty, like the shine on the metallics in here is just remarkable. And of course, you could use them like these three, these three, these three. They would build a beautiful look for you that way, but they also work really well together. Even though I didn't pull in any of these shades here, I did know that that plum liner was going to look so good with the rest of these shades. So I'm really happy the way this turned out. I'm excited to use this one here in Kentucky Derby and these shades later because I do like kind of like a plummy, almost berry toned eye. I think I'm going to get some beautiful looks out of this Southern Spring palette from Sydney Grace. I just really think this turned out really nice. Man, I love it. Also really like the blush. And I feel like this blush formula is very different than some of the other ones because it's a little bit creamier, a little bit more emollient than I remember other brands being. And maybe I'm just not thinking too much about it, but it feels very balm-like, very moisturizing, very hydrating. I can't wait to try it on a day when I don't set my full face. I just completely forgot about it today. It was kind of on autopilot, and then I was like, oh wait, I'm using a cream blush. Okay, it'll probably look even better. And that's something I'm really excited about. These liners, I tell you, these are the sort of liners that become workhorses in my makeup collection because they're not really bright blue, bright purple, you know, chartreuse green. And although I love colored liners, I love colored liners that are a little bit deeper, that are a little bit darker, that have some of those rich undertones to them like these two new ones do in Plum and Stone. I feel like they work really well and I could use these with a myriad of eyeshadow looks. And these are going to work every single time. I also love how long lasting they are. So here's where I want to know. Did you shop the Sydney Grace sale? If you did, what'd you get? Also, if you are a fan of Persona Beauty, what do you like from the brand? I am head over heels for their eyeliner. They're $16. They are worth every penny, and I love them so much. But I'm also really curious to see what else there is because I tried a lip product that didn't quite work for me. I like the blush. I think the blush is nice. I'm going to have to keep trying it and give you more than just a first impressions. But I really feel like the formula is super comfortable and can be used by a lot of people. Thanks so much for making the time to watch today. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.